Just 1 second. It says Kelly, and then it says Pat. What number?
200. All right. All right, folks. I think you can hear me out there. Just cleaning up the workbench a little bit before we sign on here in a minute. Thanks for joining us at DIWW. I'm going to be right with you in 1 second here, just doing a couple last minute checks. Turning off some switches. Bingo, I think you got me going right there. All right, I'm coming to you in 2 minutes. Got my stars and bars laid out here, so I'll tell you why I'm not wearing them. All right, let's see. I'll reverse this shot here. Okay, let's see here. How many tools does a man need? That's my question. And welcome, hey, welcome to DIWW. I'm Michael, or as the grandkids call me, Rue. Thanks for jumping online this morning, right here on the Works Tools Facebook page. That's where you find me about every other Thursday. I come up with some idea to help you be a better DIYer. There, I said it. Look, you wouldn't be watching this unless you were a DIY person, do it yourself. But DIWW, do it with Works. Well, that's because I love Works Tools, and I've got a few of them laid out this morning. I want to show you a little thing. I had my shoes, my stars and bars laying on the desktop this morning. And so the purpose of that is because I'm not wearing them during this. I shot a little promo in them. These are pretty pristine. I've had these since the beginning of 2000, so they're already 20 years old. So only wear them on holidays. I didn't want to get any paint on them, and we got some paint involved for you today. So I'm going to put them over here in a safe place and push my hair out of the way because it is like being in a sauna in here this morning. So got my stars and bars cup also. Hey, it's the 4th of July, people, so celebrate. And so what I wanted to work on today was, as I clean up, I'm going to show you a couple tools, and then we're going to build a fun game. You know, I thought of horseshoes, play that during the holidays. I thought of cornhole. Everybody has tournaments with that. There's pitching games. The yard darts, they're gone. Those are too dangerous. You've got wiffle ball. You've got pumpkin ball, which is a big old softball that you can play. Me, how about a leveling game? Carol and I sat down and talked to my son and said, you know, a game that everybody can play and you sort of forget about because you think, oh, it's an inside game and it's a doodle game, it's a scribble game. What if you did a giant, ready, tic-tac-toe, but you did it in stars and bars? And you laid it out on a table. So while the food was on the grill, everybody just kind of came in and played. And kids of all ages, it levels the playing field. You can do it. So that's what I'm going to build today. On the desk is a little piece that's called the Works Sidekick. It's laying on another Works tool, which is called Amazing. And I'm sure Meg's going to keep up with all this for you because she's going to tell you what they are. This is the Pegasus work table, one of my favorite tools. I'm telling you, it folds up. It just has some buttons you push. It has clamps underneath. This thing will support some serious weight. 300 pounds just in this with these wings out. 1,000 pounds if you're using it as a sawhorse. But this is a little table Let me see if I can put this over without spilling it. This is a little table called the Sidekick that just folds open like a suitcase. Okay, here, in fact, look at this. This is it right here. See me holding it up in the shot? It comes back just like a suitcase. I love it. It's called the Sidekick. It opens like this. These little tabs come off right there. Boop. And it opens up. You've got the legs that are in there, and you turn them around this way. See these? And it opens up like an accordion. Boom. And I'm going to put it right over here to drop some materials on. So that closes up, and then this folds out and sits down right on top of it. And don't have a camera shot over here, but it clicks in, turn those little red dials, and you're in business, and it's set up. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to lay a few supplies over there that I might need. And this is one of the tools that I'm going to use today. This is the Works Axis. Love this tool. And here's how it works. Take a look at it. It works as a regular jigsaw. It's got great weight and feel to it. Push this red button. It opens up like so right here. Okay, let me get my big old head out of the way just a little bit for you here. So you don't need to see that much of me. You need to see the workbench. So there it is right there. That's the work saw. I'll figure out which way I'm going this morning in just a bit. Opens up, and it becomes a recip saw when it opens like this. That's pretty creative, you got to admit, okay? Love the way this works. There it is right there. Love it like this, too. And we're going to use that to saw out some circles. I'm going to use a saw that I think I use every time I'm with you guys, and that's the Works Sanddeck. So there it is right there. The Works Sanddeck is a great sander. By the way, all these tools, you notice they're all 20 volt. 20 volt tools are great. Here's why. All Works 20 volt batteries, power share, fits 20 volt tools. You got to love that, okay? And then the other tool, I don't think I've used this on the show, on the DIWW show yet, but it's the Works saw. And there it is right there coming into frame. I think you can see it now, okay? I'll find my cameras in a minute. My monitor's backwards, so forgive me for that, all right? And it's 20 volt also. Take a look at this. Love this saw, and it is so fine adjustable. So we don't have, this will not saw through a 2x4, but man, for fine paneling and things like that, this is a fabulous little saw. Got a little safety trigger down here. See it right there? I think you can see that. It's a little safety trigger. And what happens on this trigger is that, let me get right here so you can see, is that you pull this little trigger in, and that allows you to, you can't squeeze the trigger here to make the saw go. Once this is pulled back, then it saws. And also, this will lift up. And you see, this is a minute adjustment here for just barely cutting through what you want to cut through. I'm going to saw some very thin material with that today. So let's get started. Here's what we're going to do. First thing I'm going to do is just make a plan. And for me, that would be on the back of this template. I don't need much when you're doing DIY stuff like this. Literally just kind of come in and I go, okay, I want a square platform. And Carol and I decided as we were doing this that we wanted it to be about 24 by 24 inches because we've got a table out there that'd be fun if it just covered the entire table. And that's what's oversized so people can pick it up as they walk by, they can put in a piece. And so just literally a simple little stripped piece like so, tic-tac-toe board. And then we thought, well, if this were blue, if that were blue, and if these were red, and what if we did stars for some of these, for the X's, and what if we did O's for the O's in there and did a giant tic-tac-toe? So it's hard for you to see that drawing probably in this light. I apologize, but there it is. Okay, so here we go. So that's what I'm going to do. So the first thing I wanted to do is just get, I wanted to get my material for the bottom. And I used a piece of just glue on. I didn't even go buy birch plywood, and I didn't buy real thick plywood. You see this? This is only a 1/4 inch. Okay, so I didn't need anything more than that just to pick up and move around. And I've already cut this one because I've got one to show you later. So this comes in 4x8 sheets, or it comes in 2x4 foot lengths where you can buy this. And I buy this in a big box store just next to the plywood. But by the way, if you buy more than this and if you get a good deal, don't throw it away because there's tons of stuff for you makers. And I'm a maker, okay? Tons of stuff you can do. Like, see this little board I'm holding right here? See this? This is a little cut. This is actually, does it look like a drawing board with maybe a square palette? I cut this board out of lots of these scraps, sand the edges down, just grab my sander, go around, drill a hole in here. This is what I use for a lot of my art boards. This is really a cool project. In fact, one year my wife and I gave our grandkids watercolor pencils and markers and a little clamp that held the paper on here like so. And so so they have a travel sketchboard. So I don't throw any of this wood away. The scrap will be good to you. So what I've done is I've cut a 24 by 24 inch piece of this. All right. So 24 by 24. But here's the thing: you can make it whatever size you want. Don't worry about if you just wanted a small one and come in with a little scrap. Maybe you have some scrap metal later or scrap wood laying around. Maybe you don't even want to buy wood for this. Okay. All the wood didn't cost much, and I'll show you what I'm going to make it out of as I get ready to saw. Okay, these are the strips that I wanted to use, and they are. I left a tag on here so you can see it. They're 25 inches long by one. No, that's not right. They're a 1/4 inch thick, 1.5 inches wide by 36 inches long. So that's the piece of material that I bought for the strip. Right there it is. Okay, so 1.5 inches, 1/4 inch by 36 inches. 3, 4 of those will do it. They cost me 98 cents a piece. Come on. What a bargain. And you can say, oh, hey, you know what's a tic-tac-toe board? I could just go buy one. Yes, but you wouldn't have the joy of doing it yourself. It's DIWW, do it with works. So think about this. Maybe you could find one. Maybe you could call me and say, hey, I'd like to buy the one you made. I'd go, well, it's going to cost you this much. You go, for that, I could buy a couple of tools, your time and labor, and I'd have those tools for other things. That's my point right there. All right. So first thing you're going to do, and I did it with this saw, I literally just laid out a small piece of this plywood, 2 by 4 feet. I took this saw. I'm going to reverse this camera so it goes on the other side so you can see where I'm cutting over here. I think that'll do it right there. Let me see if that works. Maybe not. I'll get to it in a minute. Just give me a second here. Let me go there and go here. See if that does it. Is that going to do it? I think that's going to work a little better for you to see. All right, you may just think I jumped off the planet there, but I promise you that'll give me a place to cut over here where you might can see it go. If not, I'll move the camera for you in a second. I have ways of making this work, okay? All right, so here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this saw right here and turn this thing so you can see. Good grief, having a hard time with my camera today telling me which way I'm going. Sorry. It's always something, isn't it? If it wasn't one thing, it would be something else. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to turn this so you can see the edge of it right here. And then I'm going to take my little board and just show you how easy this thing cuts. I'm going to trim this down a little bit anyway. So grab a pencil out of there, grab a square if I need one. If you don't have a square, you can always use a handsaw. Did you know that? You can always use the handsaw just to come in on the piece of wood. This part of the square of saw right there works as a square. This side works as a 45. Did you know that? You learn something new every day. You know what? I was 50 years old before I even knew that. So here's the thing. I need a quick straight edge. And I'll say, well, I'm going to come down to the end of this board right here and right here. And I need a straight edge to tie them. Here's a straight edge. This works as your square. Butt it against the square edge. Come across like so. And you got it right there, like that, okay? All right, there's that mark. Line that up here. If I need to hold this with my hand, I could. If I needed to clamp it, I could just grab a quick clamp like this. This is a quick clamp. By the way, there's 2 of these stored under here on this desk. They just snap in underneath like that. I actually had another one because I own 2 of these tables. That's right. Here's how this thing works. You can slide it in the rail and use it, or you can just bite it on the edge here and clamp it in like so, or maybe even from the top up here. Love these things because they just give you that little extra grip and feel. Boom, done. Okay? Like I said, see, it slipped it right off because I didn't get underneath where I needed to get. All right, so now what I would do here is set my depth on the saw. Come in here and just move this thing till it stops right there. That's plenty deep enough to cut that, lock it in. I'm going to pull this little trigger back right here. That's the little red trigger. That's going to free it up, ready to go. I want my cut right in the middle of the V. Press down. Bingo, I am done. Press this release on the right here. Clamp comes off, and I just shortened that. And you know what? That's something that I actually was planning on doing a while back because I made this a little long and it doesn't fit down in my briefcase. And I went to sit down this way so I can grab the hole and pull it out. My little drawing board, it goes right there for that, okay? Let me go back to PIP to get an idea of what I'm working on here. If it comes back up, maybe it doesn't. Nope. One of those days, folks, one of those days. All right. All right, here we go. All right, can you see what I'm working on? Let's do it. So I cut this off a little shorter so it'll go in my briefcase, and that's my drawing board. So I cut one of these to 24 by 24, and it works really well. And then now I need some cross pieces to put on it. So what I decided to do was come in here with these strips and decide what my measurements were going to be. Genius that I didn't realize I was, if I did this in 24 inches, and these are 1.5 inches, I could use 2 this way and 2 this way, and then it would be easy to find the center. So you didn't know there was math involved, but there's a little bit. But here's what I figured out. If this is 24, and I start here, 7 inches is what I needed. And I didn't want these to be on top of each other, and I didn't want to nail these down or screw them because I'm working with very thin material. So what I decided to do, the easy way to do this, was to simply saw these off, mark them at 7 inches and saw. But before I did that, I painted them all, okay? So I painted everything. I painted the board blue. I painted the strips red. You can paint these with acrylic. You can paint these with house paint. You can paint them with oil paint. Boy, I don't know if I would do that because I think that is a lot of drying time. So what I did was, I did it the cowboy way, the easy way. I just ran down and I grabbed myself some red spray paint, some white spray paint, and some blue spray paint. And I paid a little less than $4 for each can. And I got plenty for the next project I want to work on. So I decided to spray them. I took out my little sidekick table outside. I draped plastic over it, just real fine plastic. Sprayed them all, came back, gave them a second coat. So I sprayed all these red first. And then I sawed them, knowing that I'd have to come back and treat the edges just a little bit. So that's how I did that, okay? Now, so that's that piece. So I did the square. So you get where I'm going. I've got the board. By the way, here's what I did. Took the board out, laid it on the sidekick table. Once I covered it with plastic, sprayed it completely blue. Gave it 2 coats of blue. Set it in the sunshine, let it dry. Went around the edges first with my sander. And so once you make a cut, you can just go. This sander, by the way, is really a nice sander. And here's what happens on the deck. If you release this, I can actually take this off and put another foot on this sander. It comes with a iron-shaped foot. Iron as in the iron you might iron with, a pointed shape. It comes with a square one that you can change the paper on, and it comes with this round one, which I really like, the round one. And I've just got some very fine sandpaper on there, about 220 grit on this one. Okay, spin this around, it locks in, clamp it down, and I'm ready to go. The switch is right here. It's adjustable for its speeds. 20 volt. Got a little dust sack on here that comes off very easily. And you go dump that every now and then just to keep the dust off of you. 20 volt again. So I came in and I just sanded the edges. I just sanded them enough to take the splinters off, and also just to take just around the corner very slightly, so that nobody just kind of picks up a splinter on that. But where you saw this, you're going to get some real feather, depending on the type of saw you use. Now, if you'll notice, I saw this is going to be the side that's up, and I sawed with the work saw, this saw here, the one I just demoed for you, this saw here. The back of this will splinter out a little bit just because it's underlayment or it's Luan plywood. It's not birch, okay? So I use this saw for that. But what I want to do then is I want to use my sander, turn it over, and I want to remove all this. All right, you get the idea. Good sander. Hey, if you don't have a sander, use sandpaper. You can do it by hand. As a matter of fact, the kids need to learn how to sand. Sometimes I tell people when they're finishing good woodwork, sand it all, then moisten it, wet it a little bit, let the grain rise up in it, and then give it another sanding. It's going to get slick. It'll paint really well. It'll finish well. All right, so I've got the board. It's blue. I've got the strips painted. They're all red. Just imagine this. It'll be more than imagine. I'm going to show you in a minute. They're all like this. And now I need something to put the game pieces. So those are all sprayed. They're outside. They're drying. So I'm going to get my game pieces. So here's what I bought. By the way, this wood is poplar. Very inexpensive, soft wood to work with. It's poplar. Find it in a big box store, just where the molding in all places are. So I bought some of this. Now here's a piece that's this big. It's 5 inches by, it's a half inch. It's a half inch by 3.5 by 36. So it's 3.5 inches wide, half inch thick, 36 inches long. A couple pieces of this gave me all I needed to do. I took my stars and bars cup and I found a pencil, which I've lost already because it doesn't take me long to lose things here. And I thought, this cup's already out here. There's a ring already. I'll just make the rings this big. Okay, so I put it on there as close as I could. Just penciled it around like so. Took the next one, put it close. Not worried about saving too much material here, but making my turns. So I went all the way down till I thought, okay, I'm gonna make 6 or 8 of those. So I penciled those off. You can see it there. So hot out here, my cup's sweating. So am I. So there's a little piece I had. So what I did then was I took this piece, reach over and get my jigsaw, which is here. Okay. So here's the jigsaw. I'm going to use that clamp again that I got underneath my table down here. I'm going to clamp this down. Look, I'm going to clamp it a different way this time. All right, watch this. I'm going to slide this clamp in here like so. Roll it down into the track. It's supposed to just slide right in there, but I've got this one pushed over a little bit because I've probably need something else. There we go. Drop this in, so the clamp drops in just like so. And I can clamp that thing right in here like this if I want to. Okay? Kind of awesome how that works, huh? Look at that. I don't think you can see it from there, so I'm going to twist my table around just so you get an idea of how it clamped in. Take a look at this right here. Okay, take a look. All right, that's in. I'm going to pull this back just a little, so I'm going to release, pull it back, I'll hit it right there, squeeze it in. This is clamped. If I wanted it clamped the other way, and I really didn't want it to vibrate, I could go in here, put another clamp on the side like this. Is that overkill? Maybe, unless you're teaching your child how to saw, which is what I recommend with DIWW, do it with Works. Teach your kids how to build all these things. So at this point in time, I'd like one pushing down on it, and I'd like the other one to just keep it from vibrating a little bit. So what I'm going to do then is just go in with my jigsaw, which my jigsaw, this is the axis. This is jigsaw. This way, push this button, it becomes the recip saw, which is pretty cool. This way, I'm going to use the jigsaw mode. Got a wood blade on there. Then I'm just going to start out here. A variable speed. Got a light on it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Great cutting here, okay? Come in right here. Here's where that variable speed really works for you, because I can just start it scribing it like you would if you had a handsaw. You know, you start gently before you start cutting. So I can turn it on very slowly here. All right, you see the gist of this is I'm going to cut out 6 or 7 of these. I'm going to get them all cut out with my jigsaw, and then I'm going to take them. I'm going to take my sander and I'm going to start sanding them down. Sand the edges around. Maybe this is something your kids can learn how to do. They can come in. Sand them as you go, make it work for you. All right. Then you're going to lay them on that plastic covered table, and you're going to spray them with white paint. And there they are. Boom, boom, boom. Got a stack of those already done. I'll show you in a second. Next thing I'm going to do is I thought, okay, I don't want X's, I want stars. So I had to go find a star. Now, you know, geometrically, you can take a circle, you can take a compass. If the circle's 360 degrees, 5 divided into that is 72 degrees. And you're like, wait a minute, no numbers. or you can just do what I did. You can go online and you can print out some stars. These are 3-inch stars, which is what I wanted. I figured it would fit really well on this 3.5-inch piece if I expanded it just a little. So I cut one of them out and I increased the size as I cut it with my scissors. So that became my star template. I traced those and then I started cutting out stars. So cut out the stars with the jigsaw, just making straight cuts, or with a handsaw if you don't have one of the jigsaws. Power saw is hard to do because it'll want to cut past, so a handsaw will work, a keyhole saw will work, a coping saw will work. Anyway, just cut out the stars the way you see fit and then go back to your sander and start sanding the stars. Now, in fact, in this case, if you want to clamp it down a little bit, you can. You can use that same clamp and just bite down a little bit. I just turned my sander down on low, and then I went in and started just sanding it, holding it by your hand. The great thing, this is really a safe tool, especially when you have 180 or 200 grit paper on it, okay? So I want to smooth all these up, get the rough corners off, the edges, anywhere there might be a rough place. This shoe of the sander fits right in there very nicely. If I wanted to just spend hours and hours on them, I could go and change the shoe on this to a very small shoe that they use. It's tiny. And get some sandpaper on that and do it. Smooth the edges off just a little bit. Lay those out. They are ready to paint. Okay? All right. And guess what? Here's what they look like all painted. Bingo. All right? So now let me just clear off the deck here a little bit. I'm going to throw this over here. Turn this around a little bit for you like so. Move this saw over. This was the axis. Works 20 volt. Any battery, any 20 volt battery will fit anywhere. It works 20 volt tool. It's a sand deck. And I used this saw this morning. So there's the 3 tools that I've used this morning. Other than, no kidding, because I'm set up in the middle of my shop here and you're looking at it this way, I really can't do a workbench shot because there's no place to put a camera. So these tables are fabulous for me to sort of set them outside and do some sawing out there, which I do a lot of times, okay? Sometimes it's not as stuffy as in the garage. Okay, so ready? And just as Julia Childs would have the second chicken in the oven, here's my board complete. Boom. All right, cool, I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so here's that blue. Here's the red that I chose. I still got a little detail to do on the ends, just a little cleanup. By the way, I didn't nail these. I didn't screw them down. I just used wood glue. And once I found my measurements, I dropped a little string of wood glue on the inside, put them down, and then I laid some heavy weights on them last night and just let them sit there. Didn't move it at all. They turned out fantastic. Okay, so once again, I used 3 bright colors. They're all Regal Red, Deep Blue, and Glossy White. They're my colors right there that I used. And I got this great box. And I'm sure my wife will find something a little more creative than this, but in the shop, come on, I had to have something to put them in. So there we go. There's the stars and the bars and the circles that work as tic-tac-toe. Just won the game. Actually, I played this last night by myself a couple times, and I didn't win. I made a few more, but you don't have to make too many because somebody's going to win shortly, right? All right. Okay, cool, huh? So how about a tic-tac-toe game that says "Happy Birthday, America"? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I really do like it. All right. So, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of DIWW. If you want links to any of these tools, they'll be in the comments column. You can also go to workstools.com. Their website has some amazing information on it, and I'll tell you what else it does. Under the tool shed, there's a block where this video will live. If you want to go back, it's 24 by 24. You'll get the size of these strips. They're 1.5 inches wide. Very inexpensive. You don't need anything heavier than this. It fits on your table. Let me see if I can jump into another shot so you can see what I'm talking about here. There it is right there. You don't need anything bigger than this. This is going to be a fun little game. So you stack them all up, set them off to the side. In fact, you know what? This would make a great, the sidekick table would make a great table just to put this on. This is the Pegasus here, but it's about the same size of the sidekick, I think. Fantastic. Didn't even think about that when I made it. Let's see. Oh, perfect. Perfect. In fact, I got 1 minute to go. Watch this. I'm going to move it around and just show you. Watch this. In fact, I'll fold this bench up right here. These benches I love because watch what happens right now. Pushing a little button there and one here, a little lever. This folds down. Pushing this one and this one. That folds down. I just sort of give it a little lift with my foot like this. It picks up, and there is my table to go. It weighs about 32, a little under 35 pounds. I'm going to put it right here and pick up this other table and put it right here. All right, hold on 1 second. I'm going to make some noise. There, I have some materials on it. It comes in right here. This is the side kick. This is it. Notice how these went on. Take a look. Remember, it folds up like this. I unfold it. I drop it on. I turn these knobs. It's done. Now I'm going to put my board on there like this. All right. Oh, perfect. All right. I may have to send this one up to the office here. Let you guys play tic-tac-toe on the side kick table in the office. Let's see. And I think what you, no, you can't do that, huh? Oh, sure we can. Cat got the game. All right, there it is. There's a win right there. All right, hey, thank you for joining me. I'm Michael, or as the grandkids call me, Rue, for DIY. Have a beautiful, beautiful holiday. Enjoy some friends if you can. Be safe while you're out there. Put on your red, white, and blue and celebrate. Well, we live in a great country. These tools will make your life easier. DIWW. I'm out of here. See you later.